Hey everybody, I'm Kyle,
I'm Ian.
and this is the last community comments for the guards themselves, part 4. We are going to start this episode by calling our executive producer, Christopher Hall, on Skype. Hello.
Hey.
So, I think we had one specific question we've been wanting to ask you for a while.
Okay.
Why did you give a bunch of money to two people on the internet you didn't know?
I was actually a huge fan of your guys' Rodriguez show.
Oh, okay. We had a Kickstarter when we first started, and we was getting pretty close to the end. And I think we'd even completed the project, and then you just showed up and... Do you mind, can we say the number, or is it...
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, Christopher just dropped in and gave us like $1,000 extra, which is great, because it let us get, several of the costumes and the prison location and everything were definitely covered by that, so thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm looking up at the phone for some reason, I don't know why.
It's that wonderful picture of
It's just a
Jigglypuff.
picture of Jigglypuff on the phone.
That's the greatest thing.
From sulfur hexafluoride. This was astonishingly well done. I have to be honest, I expected a lot of cliches and I was wrong. Even the unavoidable indie filmy things somehow were made to fit into the story. For example, everyone isn't an actor, but you miraculously allowed that to contribute to the underlying comic book vibe. Definitely my new favorite thing, 10 out of 10. Thank you!
Thanks!
Um,
We were very aware of trying not to put in as many indie film things as we could.
or doing
do
just
it,
what you said,
yeah.
working it in a way that was part of the story. Because I think, like we said before, we first wrote it around the resources that we had. And in fact, we'll get to this after the comments. We have the original pitch documents for the first version of the script here that I mailed to myself as a really cheap form of copyright protection. Because, thought somebody was going to steal my idea. Also, that was just one of many, many, many really positive comments. And I didn't include them all in here because I didn't want to just read off a bunch of praise about stuff that we made. But also just wanted to say a general thank you to everybody because they were all really nice.
So awesome. It's
Um,
great. Like being able to put something on YouTube and then being excited to read the comments, that doesn't happen.
Yeah,
But y'all are great about it.
that's
so
actually
thank
my
you so
favorite
much.
accomplishment from this entire year is somehow cornering, the one group of decent human beings on the entire internet.
From Sam Downs. Confused at what happened at the end. Anyone willing to explain?
We'll do it.
Yeah.
So it looks like most people actually weren't confused by the end, which we were really happy about. Because we were pretty sure nobody was going to get
To be honest,
the twist ending.
by the end we were feeling we were maybe just a little bit overambitious with our double twist pull-off.
And a lot of people are. Like when you're in film school, it's just something you think you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
Um,
I say, having totally been to film school.
which, it's, it's just something that you see. Because when you see it in movies, you're like, whoa, that was really cool. And so in your mind, that's what good movies do. Which is not a true thing at all. Like there are good movies that do good twists, and there are good movies that just have normal endings. So yeah, we were not I remember that was when we first hashed out the whole plot. We were not sure that was going to work out. We liked it, but the more we worked on it, we were like, "Are we really going to pick up on this?" So
And
yeah,
actually coming up with the ending was difficult.
was.
That was the last part. During our iconic hash out sesh where we tried to figure out all of the details, including things like the name.
yeah.
So we didn't just get to call it villain thing, which is what's on the
yeah,
envelope
it is.
there.
Villain pitch document. Villains. So just villains.
So
But we also just didn't know how to write back then compared to now.
So-
I cannot believe it turned out as good as it did. The only reason it did is because of all of the
extreme
constant,
levels of editing.
just editing sessions that we went
over
through.
editing again and again and again. There was at least 5 passes on the script, including cutting out an entire character. We've been over all this.
And then the actual cut, the last we did an editing pass 2 weeks before we released this thing.
And we
where
were changing the ending at that point.
Yeah.
With footage that we'd been sitting on for 2.5 years that we had no ability to alter beyond just slimming down.
So, if you didn't understand the ending, the point of it was the anarchists discovered that Meyer gets overconfident when he thinks he's won and then brags about things.
And they figured out that he was paying off the police, which is bad.
that was a little bit obvious from
Yeah.
the beginning. Well, I mean, yeah, the first scene, even you, the audience, knew that. But the main thing they figured out was, the reasoning was he's not going to be arrested because he owns the police. So the only way to bring him down is to make the other people on his level want him gone.
Right, because
And
otherwise
so-
he has the money to cover it up.
They got the tip from Sean that he was planning on doing some sort of power grab thing on all of them, and so the whole plan was like, okay, we'll trick him into admitting that so that we can show that to people. And
We
so
need to
then,
get him monologuing. We need to use the monologue against him.
and then they sent that tape to the media guy, Artemis Gosling, who is supposed to be the guy who runs the news station, and I'm not sure if that was incredibly obvious. And then the whole thing with the building explosion that was faked with the bag.
And the headphones.
With when you plug the headphones into the bag, it makes the explosion, and so they used that to fake the explosion in the office. They didn't actually blow up the office, as you could tell when he went to the office and it wasn't blowed up.
And then at the end, he's supposed to be being arrested by his guards.
Yeah.
His own guards.
So
because the media
it's
is trying to
possible
get
even that some of you who thought you got the ending missed a piece of that somewhere in there, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
But
I mean, what's not obvious about going in and having to convince the bad guy to monologue and then blow up his own office building as part of your plan?
it was a pretty risky plan from Inglonious. What happens to the
Inglonious.
anarchists who were already arrested? They stayed arrested. What happens to the crime fighters? I don't know. I assume that would be decided if we continue doing more. In my mind, they would either go back to fighting crime, or they've teamed up with the other group permanently, but I'm not exactly sure.
They're not getting paid anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So their motivation is
Justice
less
didn't do it for the money. And also, is the city still under the control of the bad guys at the end? Yes.
Yes.
Because they only took down the one guy. It was another thing. When we were first planning it, we had a much bigger, expansive idea, and it was going to be like each season or whatever, each block was going to be them going against one of the other people in that meeting room at the beginning of this one. So it was going to be Meyer first, and then next it was going to be Artemis Gosling, and then it was going to be like Sylvia Crow, Ted, like it was going to go in order of relevance, like it was going to introduce the next person during the season and then move on to them the next time.
From Burntell.
Burntell.
Hi, Burntell. Oh my good gravy. That was such a great ending, and I thought that the little last-ditch grenades references were funny. I really wish there was more, though. Oh well.
Thank you. Also, how did you even notice that there were last-ditch grenades references?
These were like the smallest. I had to ask Kyle what they were.
I
'cause I had
definitely
forgotten.
did not expect, I mean, why would I have expected someone to notice references to something that doesn't exist except for Burnt L? So good going. Last Ditch Grenades is another project that we plan on making in the future that I think I posted the logos to on Newgrounds once.
Yeah.
So good job remembering that. Shut up! What do you want?
This guy, technology. If he could actually just carry around a keyboard in his bag, he would.
God, am I really that much like that character? From Forest Fire.
Wasn't
Like the
expecting.
name Forest.
Oh, Forrest like Whitaker, but with fire. Yeah.
Awesome job.
Or I guess Gump.
That was great. I look forward to what you guys do next. And what was the band that played all those songs? Because it's a great soundtrack. That was Shadow of Wales.
And they're awesome.
They are awesome. That was a great soundtrack. They're on iTunes. The link will be in the description. And you... God!
They're also on YouTube, so go. It's gonna be right here. Go listen to all their music videos because they're great and they're cool and they're from Austin and we like them and everything about it works so well with the movie. Just perfect, absolutely great.
Yeah.
Like there are a couple. You just dropped them in, right? Basically, and it just like
Pretty
it's
much.
synced up. And it helped out the pacing. It made the
That ending bit where it's cut to the music, it's not.
Yeah, it just.
It was cut to a completely different piece of music that we weren't able to use. And then...
Although it was, I think, really gratifying
worked.
because we worked on the pacing of that last bit. Like that's another one of the late in the late script passes. After we'd already cut out the extra character, after we'd done through it was the smoothing. We were just trying to sort of beef out Act 3 some. This was one of the last script passes. We came up with this idea of this montage that just cuts from boom, 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 and just like a sort of a long sweep of an ending. Just because we had the ending planned out, but to actually make it work visually, we were kind of stumped. So to come up with this montage of cutting between the anarchists and the other oligarchs and Meyer in this sort of sequence, and we thought it'd be a great montage if we could get it to work. But we had to really work with the pacing and try and mold it. And then we dropped in the music, and it just made the pacing fantastic.
I've watched the ending more than I've watched the rest of
Right,
the
I
movie.
do that sometimes. I actually just go like, it is really gratifying to see that work out so well. Like, I feel like that means we did something right, that it worked. From Sempiordlum. More!
There's a lot of stuff that we could do with it. I'm just 100% not interested right now. So
Don't listen to him, he will be.
Give it a year,
Give it 3 months.
I might be up for doing it again.
I think actually 3 weeks. By the end of the month, he'll be probably very ready for going.
It's not gonna happen at all.
He's gonna wake up tomorrow and just be like, man, I want to start working again.
I'm really, really excited to work on other things for a while.
Let him be Spider-Man and then we'll talk.
Yeah. I do have to say, I'm very, I guess, like, comforted and, what's the proper word? I'm much more motivated by the fact that everybody enjoyed this so much, because I legitimately
Validated.
thought
Gratified.
that it was going to be just kind of like, we put it out and
And everybody was
people,
getting like, we were really afraid people were going to be like, that's nice, but get back to the video games.
pretty much, yeah. Like, I thought people, because, I mean, we made it 3 years ago. I mean, it
Yeah.
was everything you saw was our skill level 3 years ago, which should be pretty cool, because the next thing you're going to see that we make is going to be a 3-year advance from that. But you all actually legitimately seem to like it. We got some fan art from Lizzie at one point.
That's super cool, by the way. Thank you. I am now immortalized in fan art.
More
My
people
hair is immortalized in
do
fan
that,
art.
even if
That's
you're-
awesome.
Even if you're bad at it, like, draw pictures of the
Just if you
characters.
go look at the website, you can see the Rodriguez El Cazorro fan art
That's
I
not on
made.
there. That's not on there.
Put that on there. I made that for you, Kyle. I named him Rodrigo. I made it in Flash. It's beautiful. It's the best art I've ever done.
It was like a rage face version of Rodriguez.
Anyways, you can do better than me, I promise.
But yeah, just that everybody, like, we've gotten comments from people saying that they, like, reference the lines and stuff now, and, like, I mean, that's all we ever wanted, was for things that we make to become a cultural icon that people talk about all the time. That's not too extravagant to say.
There's a guy in my D&D group who now, whenever he disagrees with my GM call, will yell, "You suck, Scott!"
From Master Necrosis.
Hi, Master Necrosis.
After a full season and an amazing final project, what are you guys going to do next? Go on break? Because I remember Kyle said something about burning out a bit.
No, he's never
Just a
mentioned
bit.
that at all.
I'm currently trying to finish 3 videos in 2 weeks, so break may not be quite the right word. After October, we will definitely be
Slowing down.
kind of slowing down, because that was the whole thing that we were like, it was like, once you get started, don't stop. That's the biggest mistake you can make as a YouTube channel, is don't stop, because you lose the momentum. But we're not stopping. Like, what we're doing isn't stopping. We're just separating our content out a little bit more.
We're reformatting.
It's gonna be, because the stuff, like, I think everything will be improved. The quality will get better, because we actually get to spend an entire 2 weeks making each video instead of 2 days, which is what we've been doing. And in addition to that, we'll be making this new show, Counterintelligence, which I'm not sure if we've actually talked about.
I'm sure we have at least once, right?
I think we've mentioned the name, but I don't think we've
Yeah.
actually discussed it. The concept that we came up with for the show is it's going to be kind of like a mock intel transmission, like a secret agent spy kind of thing, where we're going to be actually researching subjects and finding out little known information about it and then talking about that.
Just having a
Because
blast with it.
It's something we're interested in anyway. We like finding weird little facts about things. Like, when I used to be really into reading cracked articles when they were more about
Random stuff that happened, yeah.
about bringing things up, like, especially with historical events. Like, I always liked learning things about,
Because there's just a lot of crazy stuff that happened.
the world's been around for a while, and there's been a lot of people on it. A lot of stuff has happened, and most of it you probably haven't learned, because a lot of it I haven't learned. And
certainly not the fun stuff. Maybe the important stuff, but not the fun stuff.
yeah, and it is actually something I'm legitimately interested in, like, even from beyond a comedy perspective, like just education in general. After having graduated and then learning that kind of stuff, I'm generally displeased with how at least American education is. I don't know how it is in other parts of the world, but you're just kind of taught the same stuff over and over, and it's boring stuff, and a lot of it is actually just lies. The show will also be, it'll be prepared for more. It'll be written a little bit. It'll be kind of like this.
It's sort of like
Kind
super
of like our
community comments.
skits,
Yeah.
in that we'll sort of be playing characters a little bit. It'll be it's almost like we're leaning towards doing almost like the Colbert Report sort of
It's
thing.
sort of like a talk show kind of, yeah.
It's
like
a little bit
theme
like
talk
that,
show.
but like with our
Okay,
own
it's
theme of
like-
being
If you go to a theme restaurant,
CIA
like
intel.
you know, medieval nights at tent dinner or whatever, like one of those theme restaurants, you still get food,
Yeah.
you still eat, but sometimes the waiters talk a little funny and they're dressed weird.
Additionally, we still have another month of videos every week, and so this Monday will be Kerbal Space Program number 4, and it'll be the last one.
The last and final frontier.
So that should be good. We wrung out every last Kerbal joke we could possibly manage into the script, so it should be pretty good. And then we have another Extortionist Hobo video, and we also have a Mad Max one that we're gonna do.
Bitch
All right,
time!
how about we crack into these pitch documents and see what the original idea was?
This is a drum roll, by the way.
A team of 4 superish villains have devised a plan to eliminate their city's irritating celebrity-like heroes that constantly get in their way. After the villains' headquarters are raided by the police, the team of 5 has to regroup and rescue one of the legendary heroes from prison to complete their mission. But right as they're successful, they realize the enemy may not be who they think it is. So that sounds pretty similar to what we made.
I mean, there's
look at
definitely...
that. Got some illustrations of the characters there. I'll actually
Yeah.
edit that in so you can see it clearer. Those are the original ones with Jeffrey's green colorblind induced coat. It looks like the main plot point though that was changed was Sean, who was originally going to be like this legendary hero guy who they had to go rescue. Like they'd only heard of legends of him or something. And then when they finally get to the prison to rescue him specifically, it's just Sean with a cape. And that's his name in this, is Sean with a cape.
Awesome Guy and Hyper Girl.
That was their names.
Awesome Guy and Hyper Girl.
For Mr. Justice and Spectacle.
Spectacle is a really great name, I think.
I like that one.
That's
a
really
one.
good. Mr. Justice obviously works very well for the character, but I think Spectacle is a awesome bit of inspired naming.
So I guess that about covers it for the movie. Thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate all the feedback and everything.
Yeah,
we're still
thanks
gonna
for
try
being
to.
awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get it onto a full length version at some point soon. Again, we still have a lot going on right now. I'm trying to get all this stuff done in 2 weeks because I'm gonna be in England in 2 weeks. I haven't been able to mention that in a while, but that's when I'm going. If anybody lives in England, I'm going to be there. When is that going to be? 10th, 11th. So the 12th and 13th of October, I'm going to be in London. That's going to be a Monday and Tuesday. And then for some of that Wednesday and Thursday, and maybe some of that Friday, I should be in Edinburgh. So anybody who lives in those 2 locations, it'd be really cool to meet you.
Ask him for autographs.
I'll be tweeting and stuff, I guess, that just if I'm doing
Make
something.
sure to have 2 big pieces of construction paper that are nearly the same color and just go, what color is this?
I won't talk to you if you do that. But let us know in the comments, or just let me know, just if you're interested in doing that, because we don't have a huge fan base yet, so doing any kind of actual meetup is weird and hard. But if you happen to be in the area, it would be pretty cool to meet. So yeah, just let me know. We'll be doing that, and then getting to all those videos that we mentioned, and after all that's over, we'll look into getting the Guards Themselves DVDs up, and we'll be sending out all of the Kickstarter rewards, and our Patreon mystery mail stuff will also probably be the Guards Themselves props, because we have a lot of it left over, and I need to get rid of it. So you can look forward to that. If you haven't given on Patreon, you should head over to our Patreon page, at least for this month,
It's on Kyle's face right now.
and you can get some Guards Themselves stuff. So yeah, because of the hectic pace, the next couple community comments will probably be ones that we've already recorded or about past videos. So the timing's gonna be a little bit weird on that, just because we got to put something out, and that's the content we currently have. So we will see you next Friday, but from the past. Have a good day.
Bye.